seen the 7 pools, 6 record-breaking water slides, 28 types of rooms, and more on Royal Caribbean's Icon of the Seas. Now, how about the memories made over drinks and a great day or night out? On this episode of Making an Icon, we're diving into the bars and hotspots coming to Icon and breaking down how they're coming to life. What does it take to create the right blend of flavors and options for everyone, even the kids? Let's find out.
Our incredible beverage team really have embraced the neighborhoods. Whether it's Surfside or Central Park, the experience with Beverage will leave our guests wanting more.
You have to find the right blend of beverage experiences. There's the party, there's the bar, there's the swim-up bar, and then we have, traditional spaces and places for wine or for cocktails. When you make the statement, the ultimate family vacation, you've really got to make sure you tick every single box.
We brought new into every neighborhood, and we thought about choice, convenience, and variety from the standpoint of how we approach everything, which is traditional, evolution, and revolution.
So this first one is a toasted marshmallow old fashioned.
Creating a vacation that's made for every type of person, family, and all ages is a tall order. Whether it's the thrills, ways to chill, or the drinks on the menu. How that's coming together is with more than 15 bars and lounges. From new experiences to spins on favorites, there are all kinds of ways to mix and mingle.
One of the things that you'll see on the beverage side is really something for everybody. Incredible experiences for the kids, for the adults, but also more sophisticated, finer palate opportunities for people who are looking for that.
We have around 60 brand new cocktails specifically for Icon, and it is everything from traditional frozen with some spins on that all the way to very high-end craft cocktails. We've really embraced that in the beverage department to innovate what we do and offer our guests an opportunity to explore and try things they've never thought of trying.
To come up with it all, experts in architecture, food and beverage, entertainment, and more came together for months of research, mock-ups, and testing. Where did they start and how did they narrow things down? Let's just say it's been a journey.
We went out in the marketplace to really understand what our guests want. And so going out and doing that research, we really identified within every one of the venues how we were going to either evolutionize them or revolutionize them.
We do rely a lot on consumer insights and studies and trend research. What do we do to make that concept come alive in a way that makes it special to the venue while still being able to offer consistency?
There's a lot of testing. When you could just go through a multitude of options, what we found is that the options are endless for Icon of the Seas. So we've really had to hone in on what's going to be the best approach for our guests.
We do what we call a showcase, setting the stage and setting the tone for us as operators. To see the space is important to us, really understanding the needs of the operation. We're putting the guest perspective in mind when we're doing the showcases, but also as operators, preparing ourselves.
We looked at the entire ship together and looked at every bar. The idea was to lay out the entire ship and make sure the ship made sense from fore to aft.
There are a whole lot of new spots making their debut. From a walk-up champagne window and a jazz club to the first bar for adults and kids. And they each offer a different experience for any mood and vibe.
Everything that we do is created around making sure that the family, the guest, has a phenomenal experience with lots of variety and lots of choice.
My favorite venue would have to be Lemon Post. The realm of possibilities were endless when it comes to kind of fresh juices, the flavor profiles, because we were really approaching to all generations, all age groups. We started with a basic mocktail for kids, adults, anyone that just didn't have alcohol, and then we were able to reconstruct and then add the alcohol. The elevation from where it was to where it ended up was just a fun process to be a part of. We just really want it to be an enjoyable experience that the whole family can bond.
When you talk about an entire family experience, we have to be able to develop non-alcoholic beverages that are exciting. Every one of the menus will have a non-alcoholic section with some non-alcoholic drinks that have been really picked for the theming of that venue. The same care goes into the non-alcoholic program as the alcohol program.
Dessert, it's a milkshake bar, which is going to be amazing. My kids can get a milkshake and I can get a boozy milkshake.
There you'll be able to see some crazy freak shakes with cakes and cookies and sprinkles and candies and all that goodness kind of on top of a shake. Or you can have a classic vanilla milkshake. There's going to be something that gears to whatever you're in the mood for.
This is good, yeah. This is a visual vibe. It really is.
What's that? I want one.
We know that certain areas of the ship will definitely be turned on way more than some other areas. The Hideaway is focused on delivering a beach club experience. The DJ will be in full effect and everybody's going to be in and out of the pool enjoying their time.
We've leaned a little bit into champagne and a lot of champagne-based cocktails, taking the thought process like a Mai Tai, but upgrading it to make it more of a luxe experience that fits what we're doing in Hideaway.
There'll be new things in Chill Island. The first will be a frozen lime and coconut bar. So the same kind of experience that you have at our lime and coconut pool bars, but we'll also have some great frozen machines that will appear to all flavor profiles. You'll still get your basic pina colada and strawberry, and you'll be able to mix and match some flavors as well. We'll also have Cloud 17, which is an adult-only space, and they'll have access to our lovely lime and coconut bar.
With Swim and Tonic being really the first swim-up bar we've done at sea, we've embraced the tonic in the name, so just about all the cocktails that are available have tonic in some way. We're looking at everything from a limoncello tonic that is just really light, refreshing, and crisp, to traditional gin and tonic, to rum and tonic, and even a tequila drink that involves some tonic water. So that was the fun part, being creative with how we integrate tonic into a category of spirits that'll be appealing to all the guests. Blues, jazz, and blues, what the guests can expect is classic cocktails, but taking the spirit of jazz, we have put our own particular riff. We wanted to really focus on cocktails from the biggest jazz cities in the world. We're doing something we call B-flat Negroni. So instead of using gin and Campari and sweet vermouth, it uses gin and then a lighter version of vermouth to make a very interesting spin on a very classic cocktail.
Bubbles is our new champagne window, and we've brought that experience to Central Park, so our guests can simply walk up, be able to pick up their glass of champagne and listen to some amazing music playing in the park, or simply enjoy the serene experience that the park creates.
There's so many bars on board that we needed to make sure they all have a little personal identity of their own. And to accomplish this, we put together icons in the beverage industry, Tony Abugaman, Kim Hasherud, and Kat Miltenberger. We made sure that each one had a bar or two in each neighborhood. So we had this kind of different flair because all of them attack what they do a little differently. We're actually working with Tony for 1400. It's going to have some really dramatic things that the bartenders do. We really feel 1400 Lobby Bar is going to be the heartbeat of the ship. It'll be open 10 o'clock in the morning to past midnight. During the day, we're leaning very much into tropical juice-based drinks. And then as we get into evening hours where people are getting more kind of into pre-dinner drinks or after-dinner drinks, a little more focus on old fashions, Manhattans, drinks like those. Aquadome will have a new bar. The Overlook Bar has views off the front of the ship. People just go and relax and kind of get away from the hustle and bustle of the pool deck, but still are able to get sunshine.
Overlook is going to have one iconic cocktail in addition to our fleet-wide menu. So the iconic cocktail is going to be the Overlook Spritz. It's very blue in color, and in addition, from a garnish perspective, we're introducing orchids, those purple little edible orchids. It's going to very much be a vibrant experience with the cocktail to accompany the Overlook. Brian Bean's very fun. So in addition to typical drinks like an espresso martini, how can we put a twist on it? So we have this sweet vanilla foam that we're gonna have. The guests can either have it on top of their martini or not. In addition to a non-alc, we have the cinnamon coconut cold brew, which is super great and also gonna have the foam on it. So there's gonna be different layers of experience there in addition to tea-based cocktails. That's something that typically isn't done right now.
Research and testing were done across the board, including the favorites people have come to know and love. Between new iconic cocktails to new takes on glassware and the design of the spaces, every part of the experience was considered.
My team and I are looking to constantly evolve menus for all the venues they're familiar with. It's either going to be presentation, an ingredient you haven't seen, maybe just a glassware difference. For Icon, we will have drinks that are available in those venues that we're calling the iconic cocktails. So there'll be some things that are only available on the Icon class, starting with Icon. We launched a new menu in Schooner Bar, trying things I never tried before. There's a drink on that menu that combines peanut butter and pineapple, which a lot of people would not think about, but when they try the drink, it really works. in Point and Feather. Gin and tonics are very big in Europe and England. So we're gonna lean a little bit more into flavored gins, doing some cool things with tonic. Cantina Fresca is all about margaritas. We'll have 6 to 8 different margaritas. Some have been successful. Some do for flavor combinations, and Mexican beers fit so well because of the proximity to El Loco Fresh and ties that entire area of Chill Island together. Playmakers has been a success all through the fleet. This will be the biggest Playmakers we have on Icon, and we're really looking at doing some cool things and some over-the-top presentations with cocktails. So expect to see a really cool Bloody Mary that may have some over-the-top garnishes and a helmet, and then a couple other options for helmet cocktails.
Whether with friends or family and kids, everyone can cheers to their vacation on Icon of the Seas.
Regardless of who you're vacationing with, regardless of your flavor profile, the type of cocktail you like, beer, wine, there's something for everybody, and that's how we've generated the entire beverage program.
Icon is just going to take this to a whole different level where there's really something for everybody any hour of the day, and then kind of come back together as a family unit at different points in the day to share memories together.
What's next in making an icon? When it comes to creating the world's best vacation, food is at the top of the list. Stay tuned for a behind-the-scenes look at what it takes to create more than 20 restaurants all at once.